Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Melos Machina, where we are continuing our adventures in Jowdek as our party continues on adventure to see what the hell is going on with everything.
What the hell is going on?
Before we get to that,
free.
Happy Pride, everyone!
Hey!
Happy Pride Month to you all. Happy June. Yeah, celebrate.
It's Pride, bitch.
Absolutely. It's Pride, bitch.
Lerv is Lerv.
Absolutely.
Certainly.
Yeah.
I think this is always a good time to remind everyone that, yes, love is love. Love who you want to love. And if you don't like it, stay out of their business. We are...
Also, Pride started as a riot.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly. Don't forget that. You know, give your friends some hugs and then pick up a brick.
Yeah!
Yes.
Yeah,
But we
yeah,
didn't say
yeah.
that.
No.
It's all hypothetical.
Before we get into our adventures, I think the only other announcement that we do have is, as always, the continuing message from the sponsor of Melos Machina, Cantrip Candles. Ben, take it away.
Speaking of gay shit.
Oh,
Yes. Happy Pride. Cantrip Candles is a queer-owned and operated company here in Los Angeles. So if you would like to support queer companies and small companies, please head to cantripcandles.com using the link in our chat. It's our affiliate link. But yeah, if you want some leather and spice, you can go with Adventurers Emporium. But if you prefer the more sweet and sultry side, House of the Witch is great. Those are two of my personal favorites right now in June. Go check them out. You can use our code APAC at checkout for 10% off of your order. And there's some fun things coming soon. So please check out Cantrip Candles.
Yeah.
Secret.
We've talked about Potion of Flight, right? That's right.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
Yes.
I found out Potion of Flight comes with this fun little
It
D4.
does!
What is that?
It's a D4.
It's a D4.
Oh,
but it's
hell
like
yeah.
a fancy one.
It's
Yeah.
called an Infinity D4.
Ooh.
Yeah. It's
No.
really
We don't just talk about it
They're
here,
like-
but yeah, we've got actually
okay.
House of the Witch is burning right now.
I know,
So-
that's what made... I was like, wait, shut up, I like
Yeah.
this one.
The witchy vibes are also the gay vibes.
Absolutely.
It's true.
Damn.
Well, with that, players, are you ready to continue on in tonight's episode?
Let's start this ride.
Oh,
Let's
boy.
go.
Oh boy, there might be rides.
When last we met our adventurers, they had gone to the lower docks, staying at Bodgin's. Never gonna get it right.
Bogdan.
Staying at Bodgin's.
Oh, we're off to a great start.
When last we met our adventurers, take two.
Yeah.
They were staying down at the Forge as sort of a base of operations to attempt a heist of sorts to get a package from Lark Calder aboard a ship that had been docked and essentially quarantined as the city was on lockdown. With no packages coming in and out, Duathi, turning into smoke, drifted and made their way. And quite frankly, everything went well.
I know. What?
Having successfully collected the package, returning to the forge, and the party inspecting it to ensure that everything was on the up and up. Everything looked to be safe, secure, and exactly what Lark Calder had said would be inside. The next morning, the party awoke, and as they made their way to the collection, found themselves amongst a crowd at the base of the bridge, where a message had been graffitied onto the wall. Free venture. As this sign splattered in ink across the brick, the large crowd is there, murmuring amongst themselves.
I would like very much to listen in to what some people are saying. What's the vibe?
Absolutely. I won't even have you roll perception on this.
What is vibe?
What is?
The vibe check is natural.
Actually, no. Let's have you roll perception
No
on this to
natural
see.
vibe check?
How good? How
What's your passive vibe?
What's your
passive
passive vibes?
Ooh, that is going to be a 26.
26. Most of the murmurs, it is a cacophony of sounds that are happening. And you hear who could have done this? And I knew it was only a matter of time. What are the guards going to think? But cutting through that, you do hear one voice saying to somebody, finally someone said it.
Okay, should we keep moving?
I mean, if they're not blocking our way, this was kind of to be expected, I think.
Yeah. It's been a few days.
Material-wise
Mm-hmm.
and handwriting-wise,
Mm-hmm.
is there anything aside from graffiti on the wall reminiscent of the last message we saw?
Comparing the two, it's very hard to have a comparison. This is very sloppily in like black paint across the brick.
Not blood.
Not blood. That's good.
So yeah, very much.
Does it seem like the ink has dried, as this was done sometime in the night, or was this done rather recently?
From where you're looking, you can see sections where the paint was dripping. So it looks like it was done hastily. It doesn't look as though any of it is moving now, and it's not glistening in the light.
Okay. Well, pressure is on, as anticipated.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that, the deacons and things that, that it seems like they're helpful and things, but, I don't think they're in the city anymore.
I tend to agree, Dorothy. Although, there might... An attack on that scale required a lot of coordination, so there might still be some helpful folks here. But yeah, I think the real important folk are already gone.
And if the populace is growing restless, then then the Cardinal's work is set out for him. So he has a job to do. He'll take care of calming the people.
I mean, I don't blame them. It's been days with seemingly no real answers or progress. So,
Well, these are frontier folk, not
Yeah.
city people who are used to being behind walls.
no.
So, something's about to... something is cracking. Let's not get too distracted.
No.
Okay.
Upward.
As you leave the group, climbing your way up the stairs leading to the bridge, as you reach the top, you see 2 deacons and about 4 or 5 guards and what looks like a guard captain rushing towards the stairwell. As they come up to you, say, step aside, please. As they rush past and make their way down.
They don't seem too happy.
How many of them are there?
Deacons?
Yeah.
We've seen the 2 by the gate. We just saw these 2. They're probably not... Were they... How would I know if they're the same one? Do we see any defining features?
Same head. John.
They got name tags.
The uniform is very. It is very. It removes individualism from them, but so far you have seen a variety of different faces.
Okay. But it's not so anonymous that we don't see.
Exactly.
Okay. What happened was a big deal. They're gonna send out as many as they need to.
It's not as big as the cities, but it's a big place to maintain a presence in.
Yeah.
Given my military history, Scott, would I have any knowledge of how many deacons would have been sent on a job this important?
On a job like this, give me a history check. And also with your background, you can do this at advantage.
Hell yeah. That will be a
Nice. A few things that you know about deacons. They are typically sent out, at least in pairs. It is 2 to a unit. Depending on the size, it is usually 2 deacons are enough for a job. But something of this scale, it's not out of the question that could be anywhere from 6 to 10 is not out of question. 10 might be pushing it, but in that range seems about right.
If I can give you an additional insight into the scale of what we're dealing with, we've probably seen half the deacons ever sent here already. So it's important what they're doing, and they'll make their presence known when they are needed.
That being said, we should be as discreet as we can be.
Yeah.
So don't be too obvious when we're up there.
I think discretion is going to be the easier thing to come by.
Yeah.
So, come on, there's lots of stairs.
Yes.
As we stand, I'd like to
Sound effects.
use the message cantrip to talk to Aaron. And while you were out last night, did you see any movement? Any other souls about?
Unless there was anything that you wanted to plant in my brain, Scott.
You didn't see it, at least you didn't spend a lot of time by the bridge.
Okay.
You did an excellent job of appearing to be a part of regular guard patrol while at the same time definitely avoiding them. You did. There were 3 patrols, possibly the same patrol 3 times that you avoided.
Gotcha.
But outside of that, you didn't see anything.
No, it was a rather quiet evening otherwise.
All right. Keep eyes peeled.
Yeah. As we crest to the top of the stairs, before we actually get over water, I want to get a psychic link going.
Sure.
Between Finn, Aiken, and Duathy. We will get that for 3 hours.
Nice.
Very good.
And as you feel that connection link, all of you hear echoing from the base. Disperse!
Oh,
Did that sound, I was gonna say supernaturally, like magically charged disperse?
Augmented?
Yeah, augment.
Absolutely.
This is why you're the DM.
Okay.
You know words.
Yeah.
How often is it in a city that something like this would happen? Like that they would
Not.
lock down?
Not often.
No.
I only ever saw them once or twice, deacons, I mean, and it was never a lockdown situation.
Okay.
Granted, we were kind of in the most epic of lockdowns for
Well,
the first 20 years of my life, so
once you're given the freedom to come and go, sanctuary suddenly feels like a cage when you can't.
yeah.
You know, there was something I know I've asked a little bit about it, but I'm still sort of curious because I'm still a little confused on the subject. You know, when they said that they were going to bring people before the Iron Judge, and then you said that's a god, and then everyone said, how literal is that? Is because, like, is the Iron Judge going to show up and, I don't know, look irony and judgy? I don't know.
Not in recorded history, anyway. Some might say that they'll be there.
Oh.
But like the Endless Cycle, they're one of the divine archetypes, one of the parts that make the whole of the song bearer, of the Melos.
So likely more metaphorical.
Likely more metaphor. You know, okay, while we're walking, I'm assuming we're continuing to walk.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm also still confused on this point. So there's the songbird,
Mm-hmm.
and then there's other ones.
Mm-hmm.
And you keep saying aspects like they're all a part of the songbird? They're like not separate gods?
Where you were from, did you experience seasons, the changing of the leaves, the coming of the snow?
Not in the same way I think that you have relationship to it here. I don't. Wait, what's the last word?
Snow? Snow. Have you seen snow? I've only, I believe, read of it.
No, I don't know what that is.
Well, so over the course of time, the weather changes, patterns change, but then we always come back around, and we call that a year. And each of those seasons is part of the year, and yet they're distinct in their being.
Okay.
But you can't have the year without them. So, if the song bears like the year, and these archetypes are like months within the year, they all
Okay.
form an important and
Part.
discrete part.
Of the songbearer, who has not been seen in a long time. I asked.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, none of them really have.
But yeah, I guess they're. I always understood them as different expressions of the same kind of thing. But I don't know. It's not my interest
Okay.
necessarily.
And that's why I mentioned it with Lady Elaine yesterday with the betrayer gods. And
Yeah.
their exclusion from the whole.
So they're not a part of the songbearer?
No.
That'd be like saying the winter is not part of the year, just because you don't like the cold.
Yeah. Kind of got iffy with the cardinal about that one.
What's
He's
snow like? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, I mean,
I got excited.
Does Sarah's Manor experience snow?
It has. It's fairly rare. It does get cold.
Right.
And frost is like morning frost happens, but snow has happened maybe 3 or 4 times in your life on coldest of coldest times.
Reach.
yeah, I know.
Orange,
Like
yes,
now I'm
very
like,
much.
oh.
Yeah.
It's very pretty when it starts. Once it's been around for a while, it gets real dirty and mucky and is not as fun.
I mean, that describes a lot of things.
But it's
Will it-
cold. Did it
Cold?
rain?
I know what rain is.
Okay, so snow is like rain, but more solid and kind of flurry, if that makes sense.
Oh, that sounds fun.
So,
But also very
but
cold.
once it touches you, it kind of starts to melt right
Oh,
away.
because it's like ice.
Yeah, like little flakes of ice.
Dwathy, I'm beginning to understand, well, think that you may have lived a less than metaphorically sheltered life. I mean, also metaphorically sheltered. You haven't experienced a lot of the world,
No many metaphors.
but also not a lot of weather. You know what weather is. I mean, you've been traveling with us, but
Yeah.
If it makes you feel better, we all live pretty sheltered lives. I mean, you probably less than most of us.
yeah, I mean, it was out in the open for a few years. And then we were able to build things and grow things, and there was natural shelter, but did you guys like live in a dense forest or cave or
The village.
yeah.
Well, don't really know how else to describe it. I'm sorry.
No, it just
I
makes me
can't.
want to find your home more now.
Was it rainy all the time?
No.
Okay, so there was variation in the weather. Ish. Like, would it be sunny and warm sometimes?
No.
Okay, so it was like fairly overcast.
Sure. That's a
Fog.
good word for it. But it's okay. It's
I was
very
just
boring.
curious.
No, I know.
It's not boring.
It's boring.
It's about
It's
at this
not.
time that you have reached the collection.
Oh, shit. Okay.
I sure you don't want to just stand out here and talk about the weather all day.
Actually, that sounds great.
It really does.
Well,
My heart's beating fast.
Dorothy
Yeah.
and I
but
will
you're stalling
be
now.
talking about the weather.
Yeah.
You can tell me more about the snow.
Hmm
Okay.
I also want to know more about where you're from.
It's really not exciting.
It
Dorothy is
is
very
to
exciting.
me.
I was there for a bit. I can tell you it's not.
Just like playfully nudge you.
I would have said the same about Melos Machina, and you seem very excited to go there. So
It's so big.
Finn is very correct.
It's so big.
It gets very boring very quick.
hmm
Once you've seen one part of a wall, you kind of... It's a wall. Yeah. Anyway, if there's an emergency, think snowstorm or something to
Dorothy's in
Aaron.
charge.
I will probably not think. Oh no, that's a lie. I'm going to be thinking a lot about snowstorms
Maybe
now. But
not.
but I wouldn't think it. I wouldn't actively. That would be a good thing because it'll be on my brain. You know.
Yeah. But like if the deacons come back this way, if they linger, maybe just let us know. They make me nervous.
We'll let you know if anything seems weird or suspicious.
If anyone lingers, I'll just scream cranberry.
Any- Stop it. Stop it.
Yep.
You as Dorothy don't know that reference.
I'm unfamiliar with 90s Irish pop. That is
Yep.
very true.
Yep.
I'll just kind of look to Finn and think in my head, you have everything we need?
No, the box is in the bag.
Oh, right. I'll reach in the bag and get it. Hand it over.
All right, I've got this, and I'm thinking this, and the note.
Mm-hmm.
Although we should not play that card here.
Above table, this is the note.
From Lark to proof.
Gotcha, yeah.
For the ship
Yeah.
quartermaster.
Any other boxes we want on our person?
I don't think so.
No.
Okay.
We can call for
Sorry,
it if
I
we
can't
need it.
hear that.
And another. We're just like, what? No!
You just, Andy's suddenly getting a very bad
No.
feeling.
Ooh, my tummy.
Just holding the bag of holding very close to my chest.
I think I
Soon
will.
to be your bag of ulcers.
Yeah.
I will separately, though, to each of you, if you get the drop that anything's going wrong, Blizzard is our code word, okay?
Yes.
Great.
Blizzard. Right.
God.
Okay.
I'll walk up the steps.
Mhm.
Rap, rap, rap.
Yeah, and we'll go like across the street or wherever I was with Cindy last time.
As the two of you head across the street, at Finn, Aaron, and Icon rapping on the door, is here. As the door opens, and Lark standing behind.
Good morning, Mr. Calder.
Oh, good morning to you as well. Please come in.
Thank you. I'll gesture for these two to enter first.
I'll nod down to the box under my arm as I pass him.
You can see an immediate smile. As the three of you enter, he closes the door. You can see the blinds have already been drawn, or closed, and the place is quiet as the door is locked. Well, I take it that means things went well.
About as well as you can
Swimmingly.
expect.
Can I glance around the room? Are any other items missing from my last visit?
Sure.
Are things moving while we're gone? Is his business as covetous as he says? Like,
Looking about, it looks like every item that you are aware of is still there.
okay.
Well then, if you'll come on over as he gestures to the counter and he steps behind.
Mm-hmm.
Think of it as a formality, as this is the place of business.
Of course.
Did you run into any trouble, or?
None that we didn't expect.
All right.
Here you go.
As he pulls it aside and pulls a small key from his pouch. Looks inside. Well, all right. I'm assuming you've checked.
We do our due diligence.
I would have. Disappointed's the wrong word, but somewhere around there if you hadn't.
Sure.
I do have to say, I'm curious as to how it went and how you did, but I also know that sometimes not knowing is
Safer for you, anyway.
exactly.
Plausible deniability is a strength in some regards.
You know, I have heard just as much. Well then, as he sets it aside, also I believe I had lent something to y'all.
Ah, that's right. These would have come in handy. We actually did not need them.
Well,
but,
fantastic. Well, that makes me even more curious as he reaches out to take it, gives them a quick once-over as he puts them back in the display. Right, so I believe we had agreed upon, as he takes a small sack from behind the counter and places on the counter, you can hear the chink of coin inside. That's okay, we, 2, 3, as he counts out, do you have preference, platinum, gold?
Well, platinum's lighter, but gold's easier to exchange, so
Mix of both?
50-50.
yeah.
50-50. All right, well, I'll tell you what, we'll do this simple. We'll do, there's, do 15 in platinum, the rest in gold. As he
Very well.
pushes a decently sizable stack of coin across the counter to you. There's now 300 gold worth, again, 15 platinum and 150 gold. Now, as I mentioned, should you want to make any purchases here, I appreciate what you've done for me, and what I'm going to say, as far as that promised discount goes, I'll give you a one-time of 25% off a single item.
All right.
But then from there on, consider yourselves a friend of the collection. 10% off moving forward.
Mm-hmm. I see. Just trying to get that gold right back in your pocket, huh?
It's a never-ending cycle, my friend.
Of course. Endless, some might say.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, those goggles certainly did interest me. I believe you said they were, what, 500?
That's correct, yes.
With a 25% discount, what, that's 400 something, 375?
Yes.
around there. Well, let's leave that on the table for a sec.
Mm-hmm.
I think, we were potentially looking for more work or more answers, one or the other. I'll kind of like just like nod it. I can like, okay, I'm running out of steam here.
I was hoping that we might be able to have a bit of a debrief, if you will, bit of a conversation.
Of course. And, I mean, we'll keep our methods to ourselves, of course. We, the less you know, the better.
Well, if we're going to have a chat, can I interest you all in anything to drink?
Morning's still early. I'm perfectly fine, thank you.
I'll have what you're having.
I mean, I wouldn't say no to a cup of tea.
here, come on up and join me upstairs. As he leaves the counter and heads up top.
I'm just gonna think to Aaron as I'm right behind Lark, so second up the staircase. We're on his good side right now. Please, let's be gentle, but we need answers. We'll just keep walking up.
All right. As you head upstairs, you head to the familiar sort of upstairs living space. He opens up the door of which you have not been behind, but very quickly comes back with a metal kettle and a small tin. As he places the kettle on the table, you can see he takes his hand, and you hear the sound of metal against metal as tink, and suddenly the kettle immediately begins to boil.
Well, that's more than I can do with prestidigitation, yeah. Faster? Or is it similar?
Well, it's
similar methodology.
You think it might be.
Okay.
But yeah, he pours out 3 cups. Give it a little bit of time and offers one to Ike and offers one to Finn.
Thank you.
Should you want any,
I'm all right.
just let me know. So as he sits down in one of the chairs, what were we thinking?
Well, obviously, we were sent here for a reason. I think the Lady Elaine knew that we could be mutually beneficial to each other, and clearly we were able to acquire your goods without really any fuss.
Quite honestly, I think that it was a valuable skill. It's good to know people who are able to find things in a tight space.
Yes, we're aware of your business now. To be completely frank, we have more that we would like to discuss with you, now that we have some rapport and trust.
Sure.
I want to throw this to everyone. If we want to make this an area where we speak freely and honestly, I can do that if we all agree.
That'll go both ways.
Yeah.
So that you understand all of our intentions.
Give me a persuasion check.
Come on, Paladin.
Which one? What the
Oh
fuck?
my god, I ran out of tray.
It's a 12.
Okay.
So maybe?
You can see he begins to fidget a little bit. Well, I suppose. Sure.
All right. God, I felt a weird shiver. I will.
What's the radius of this? Just so I can just kind of back up a little bit.
There's a desk in here,
Mhm.
right? I'm just going to set my hand on the desk, hold onto the staff in my other hand, and I'm going to imbue the space. It's a 15-foot radius sphere.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like freaking out right now.
Me too.
So until the spell ends, the creature that enters a spell's area for the first time on a turn or starts its turn there must make a charisma saving throw.
Mm-hmm.
On a failed save, a creature can't speak a deliberate lie while in the radius.
Oh, I've been looking up this spell.
I've only been saying it for
What is
like
your save?
5 weeks. It's a 14. It's a 14.
Oh boy.
Can I please have everyone make a charisma saving throw?
Wait, new dice.
I'm going
New dice.
to-
Don't betray me.
Purposefully fail.
Okay. And correct me if I'm wrong, you know if someone succeeds or fails?
I know whether a creature succeeds or fails on the save.
You know I succeed.
Me too. With the 17.
Great. Well, I know I failed. 'Cause I did it on purpose. Great.
You know Calder has also succeeded.
Honestly, love that for us.
The game is afoot. We all think we're telling the truth. We all think the other's telling.
I'm going to think to Aaron,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll be like, the winds blow cold from Calder. And I'll just be like, he saved. So, I don't reveal that to the group. I'm not going to be like, everyone's saved. I hope that we can shed some light on questions that you might have now.
Mm-hmm.
And that we can maybe find some new understanding after we all leave here. So, please, conversation is open. And now I'll nod to Aaron.
The procurements you're able to provide for your shop are impressive, as we discussed on our first meeting. Though the thought has not left my mind the past few nights of just how difficult it must be to acquire some items. And the items that keep piquing my curiosity is, well, the ones which we've imbibed on 2 occasions. And, well, frankly, I'm dying to know where you found so many cases of Caimordian, so many bottles of Caimordian ale.
Well, I'm not the one who found them. I had a request as for these bottles, should I ever come across them. And like I said, I have a few people who are out and about looking for things for me.
Mm.
People such as yourselves, if you would be interested in continuing this working relationship. And these are folks that I will inform them of things that I'm looking for. So it's not just a relationship of, if you find something interesting, bring it to me, but also, hey, if you happen to see one of these, I'll take it from you. Very similarly, the request for that thread didn't just fall in my lap. I had people looking for it. The Caimordian ale, that was tough, and it was dangerous. Because at this point, I think most anyone who made that is long gone, and well, the bottles that were easy to find are also long gone. I was expecting a bottle, but 2 cases. You know, that was astounding. Expensive.
Almost priceless, I would think.
Almost. But, listen, there's a lot of things out there that a lot of people will spend a lot of money on.
Do you ever keep anything for your personal collection?
I don't necessarily have a personal collection for myself. I'm in the business of living. And, I like to live comfortably, but I also like to live not tied down. And I find that once you start to amass too much stuff, well, it starts to own you after a while.
Yeah.
Now, I'll admit that a few things have come by that I have liked and have kept, but I've certainly paid for them before keeping them for myself.
Of course. Your relationship with the Overseer in Riversmeet, is that a new one, or have you been working with him for years? He has quite an extensive collection of various historical artifacts.
He does. You know, I've had a long-standing relationship with him. I think most of what he has been procured by myself and my well, my little fetchers.
Discerning eyes. Some interesting stuff.
Well, and quite frankly, if you just want something that's old, that's typically easy to come by. A lot of his collection was not too hard, but the more things he got to display, the more interesting things he wanted, and then it just kept getting harder and harder from there. I was hoping that the Kimordian ale would be a good it was a placeholder for him for a while.
And has it proved to be?
Well, I'm not rightly sure. Is you all let me know what exactly happened to those cases? I haven't heard from him, but I expect he's saddened.
And you don't travel with your goods, right? So
No,
I assume you use an intermediary. Have you heard back from them?
Well, I typically just ship, ship with the Silver Palm. The
Right.
packages go down, and the customer receives them.
Right.
It's very few people that I actually ship to. But Casavan, he made it worth my while.
Raise my eyebrows and just Silas, mentally.
Mm-hmm. I'll just give it a gentle nod. There was an individual at the overseer's dinner whom he was supposed to meet the morning that the Fairbanks arrived in Riversmeet. Unfortunately, they were not at the docks. Do you happen to know if he was having anybody intercede or receive the package on his behalf that morning?
Well, at this point, you're starting to get into territory outside of me. I've been to Riversmeet. I've spent a little bit of time there, but just trying to get a feel for the outside world, not necessarily how it runs.
Above table, as they're questioning him, I'd like to get kind of a baseline idea of his body language. For basically a passive insight, just to get an idea of when things spike or dip or feels like there's a tonal shift.
What is your passive insight?
Passive insight is 16.
Okay. He is seeming incredibly well composed.
Cool. I know this is a very silly, totally random question. Something did catch my eye at Castavan's estate. A long hooked claw. It's like 2.5 inches, 3 inches long. Do you remember where that was from?
Something along hooked claws in like a animal or beast.
Yeah.
That one goes a little bit beyond my. I don't deal in organics.
Right. Of course not. No. If you know who does, I'd love to pick their brain. It was a fascinating specimen.
I almost wonder if he maybe picked one of those up from a shrike or something.
Probably.
Likely.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to distract
No.
about.
You say you don't deal with organics, but there has to be items that come across your way that you don't know what they are.
Oh, absolutely.
How do you go about identifying their capabilities in order to sell them?
Well, even though I'm not much of a magic practitioner myself, I've kept a couple of tools that help me with that. And if I can't figure it out, well, I know a couple of people who can.
Sure.
It helps to know historians.
Mm-hmm. Would you ever purposefully ask somebody to retrieve something beyond the Ashen Veil?
Oh. I mean, you can see he pauses on this one.
Mm-hmm.
The Ashen Vale, I don't touch with that. The Prowling Fields, I've asked people to keep an eye out. I haven't had too much of a reason to tell people to go into those because, well, that's more of a... People are asking me for a specific item, and I know where it is. That's going to be easy. I have asked people if they find themselves comfortable to go into the Prowling Fields,
Mm-hmm.
to please be careful and keep an eye out for whatever they might find. But the idea of the Ashen Vale, as far as I know, that's receded. At this point, it's beyond our reaching. If you survive long enough in the fields to get that far, well,
Because, Mr. Calder, it occurs to me that we might be able to work together to retrieve that lost case in an actually achievable way. Think about it.
is that so?
The case was lost in Riversmeet. The river flows north.
Mhm.
That's RJ. Flows
Heads up.
north.
Yeah,
And further down you go, you drift further and further towards the Ashen Vale. And if our arcane methods of retrieval have proven to be capable, I think we have the stamina and we have the capabilities of going where others might not.
I'm here. What I'm going to tell you. Listen, I like crazy, but if you feel comfortable going into the Prowling Fields, you go. But I've never known anyone to even see the Ashen Vale.
Would it be worth it to oversee a Castavan and yourself to retrieve that second case?
If it's in the Prowling Fields, absolutely. But again, people don't live out there, and people don't make it far enough. So if it's on the fringes and you can spend some time there and you can find it, that is well worth trying to get a hold of it.
We weren't too far when we found the first case.
No.
Got silent. The whole world changed.
It's worth a lot of money.
It is.
It is. At this point, my end of the job has been done. So it has been paid for, and it was delivered, and it was in the hands of the Silver Palm. So this is now going to be between them and the Overseer. But that does mean that is now lost goods. Now, I'm not very much one for double dipping on payment. But if you were able to find that, I'm sure the Overseer would be quite pleased. I'm sure that he might be willing to pay a little bit more.
There is a question of water damage. It's been quite a long time, potentially submerged.
I think
How
the-
sealed tight with those cases?
The cases I put them in were good. Unless they were hit with a really big hammer by something out there, it should be fine.
I mean, no one lives there, so big hammer would be weird.
Yeah, it would be.
I do wonder, with so many dangerous places to go and search for items, and I know that you're above board, clearly, besides what we did for you last night. If one of your sources were to find something that was banned by the Order, what's the protocol on that? Who do you call?
Well, that's a very good question. I I know what I told you the first time. And that was that I have people in the order to reach out to. And that's very true.
Of course, don't we all?
Absolutely. However, I think after last night's little expedition, I think you've shown yourself to not be too upset with bending some rules a little bit. Depending on what we find, we try and find the right hands for it to go to. Depending on what we find.
Of course. Of course. You don't want to, like, put an ancient bomb or something in somebody's hands and...
Nope.
Yeah, that'd be silly.
But there are people who have an appetite for the illicit and the illegal. And I can satiate that to a degree. But then there are people who truly need some of these things that have been lost and have been deemed wrong.
We've been having lots of philosophical debates with various people about right and wrong according to the order.
I think those are good debates to be having.
I agree. Some
do you
people
mean?
are having that debate more publicly down below. But
That's, I would not advise for that.
yeah, we saw a couple of deacons rush past here to go handle that.
You can see at the word deacons, he does immediately get uncomfortable.
Now, deacons can ruin anybody's day, so...
But they also protect.
Sure. These, in your opinion, and trust me, I won't be telling anybody anything about this. In your opinion, what are some of those needs? I know there's tech out there that can help so much. We still use some of the silly stuff, and I'll gesture at the little spring talon things. What else do you think is necessary?
I think I'm not the one who should be determining that. What is necessary, what is right, what is wrong.
But you find the right hands for the right things. So you must have some compass.
You could say that. I just do the best I can. But I don't think that... Though I'm not the one who should be determining that, I do think that it should be a choice of the people.
You don't seem to be alone in that.
Yeah.
Certainly not in this room. If something that you did find were dangerous, how would you handle it then?
See, that's tricky. Because again, at some point, almost everything in life is a little bit dangerous.
Anyone who's lived outside the walls understands that.
Yeah.
What about regulated substances?
Yep, those can also be very dangerous. I suppose the best thing to do with that would be to, again, make sure the appropriate people could have it, and in certain situations also make sure appropriate warnings go along with it as well.
And, do you ever worry about any of these dangerous items falling into the wrong hands? Does that ever happen?
It's absolutely a worry I have.
Me too.
And I'll be honest, sometimes it might.
Can I get an inside check?
I was gonna
on
say,
it?
was he honest?
Well, I actually do believe the honesty,
Yeah,
but like more, is there some recency in that? Is there some sense of regret or guilt in that?
Give me an insight check.
Did everything go sepia tone all of a sudden?
Oh, not bad. That's a 16.
16. You detect a hint of remorse. But also a hesitancy. A hesitancy with the decision making.
Like the decision making of who to give the item to or what to say here.
Who to give the item to.
Got it.
Just gonna think to Aaron.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm gonna pull off the bandage.
I'm there with you.
Lark, I've only met these folks, and they're trying to play by the books, I think. We have reason to believe that potentially something that you were sending to River's Meet might have gone wrong.
I'm going to be honest as well. I had a feeling.
Yeah,
We've been dancing quite an intricate dance.
they've been behind the walls for too long. Sometimes you just have to get a little dirty. I don't mean that. I mean this in the sense of
You're fine. What's up?
You're fine. What's up?
you had an associate named Silas, potentially. Might have been the middleman for Castavan and you.
Yeah, I know Silas.
You might want to use past tense for that.
You see his face drop immediately. What happened?
I don't know the details since I was not there. That is Aaron's story to tell.
What happened to Silas?
Was he a practitioner of the arcane?
No. He was about as good as I am.
Would you call him an intelligent man?
I'm just gonna go, Aaron.
He, I'd call him, impulsive but reliable.
Well, impulsive would explain.
It would seem that Silas met the unfortunate end of something rather powerful. Something that was eerily percussive, comparable to what destroyed the bridge. Potentially.
Son of a bitch.
And it caused quite a stir in River's Meet. Now, there are many possibilities as to who, what, where, when, why, and how Silas.
Is this what damaged the Fairbanks?
No.
No.
All right.
But we are looking to eliminate or tie the two events together, and we need your help doing so.
All right.
So, if you don't mind, can you please tell us everything about your shipment that went to River's Meet? I'm going to cast Suggestion.
Okay.
Nice.
I'm going to use Portent
I didn't breathe
Okay.
for like 30
I know.
to make his wisdom roll a 5.
Oh!
Okay.
This is not.
Oh my god.
So that's a fail. Well, everything was packed up as per usual. We got the 2 cases, one with just the Chimordian ale in and ready to go. The other one with the Chimordian and the core shard underneath, prepped and ready to go.
Mentally, while he's speaking, I'm going to say to Aiken and Finn, steal. Steal your faces.
Oh,
And yeah, it was signed off, loaded up onto the Fairbanks, no problem whatsoever. Payment was made. That's everything that I have for my shipment down to that delivery to River's Meet.
Now, could Silas have also had some core shard in his possession that he just didn't understand what he was handling?
They absolutely did. I was in possession of a minor core shard I sent down early. Overseer Castavan had a specific request for core shard and was willing to pay enough that I had to do what I could to find it. Sent the minor one down. That's when my fetchers found a bigger one. And that's what he wanted.
What does Castavan want with a heavily regulated?
Material like core shard.
It seems like
I
a man who
believe-
doesn't need for much.
As you can see, sort of the power of the magic
Mm-hmm.
kind of fade off of him. Castavan's a collector.
I'm gonna lean on the desk, putting like my full weight on it, kind of leaning it towards him. I understand he's a collector, but that's a very powerful item to collect. And it's dangerous, and could be linked to an explosion that happened not but a few meters from here.
No, I can't.
How do you know?
Those explosions weren't core.
How
At
do you
least
know?
not anything that, because I've played with it. I told you I gotta figure out what I have, and sometimes that means putting my own life at risk. That explosion wasn't core.
Lark, what does a core explosion look like then?
The one that I saw, it was percussive. There was no fire.
Mm-hmm.
It was just an erasure of matter.
Is that what you saw?
That's what I discovered.
Yeah.
I think, for your benefit, I happened to be outside Silas's place of residence as he was experimenting and stumbled across his demise. So, I think if you knew the man well, hopefully you sleep well tonight knowing that it seemed quick and painless.
Well, I didn't know him well enough to. Thank you. Might I suggest we all just take a moment, deep breaths all around. I think we're still here to discuss.
Of
I
course.
think things got a little heated there, and I can understand. I can understand why.
And we can understand why you might need a new intermediary.
Finn,
Well,
Oof.
yeah.
no, I'm sorry about Silas.
So am I. I liked him, but he was. I mean, I think you alluded to it quite nicely. Not the brightest. That's alright. It's a dangerous world out there.
Yeah, it's.
It's a dangerous world in here. And I gesture to the city at large.
I don't mean to offend you, Lark.
Nope, no offense has been taken so far. Trust me, I'll let you know.
I trust that. I'm gonna ask this not because I want anyone to get in trouble, but what does a collector want to do with core?
I think I can't bespeak as to who Overseer Castavan is as a person. I think sometimes powerful people like to have powerful things in order to feel powerful.
He did seem like the type.
Yeah, that paints an accurate picture. Is it worth returning this second case? What you referred to the other day as wine with a kick.
Yeah, I am sad to see that one go. The ale was divine and worth a lot, but that core shard, if it hadn't already been promised to Castavan, that, like I said, certain things can help certain people.
Of course. I mean, if we were to find it, would you tell Castavan that you couldn't retrieve it and just keep it for yourself, or?
Another buyer, perhaps?
Well, I think that would depend on the conversation that whoever found it would have. If it was you all who found it, let's play with hypotheticals here.
Oh, of course.
Sure. You come to me. You found the case. Fantastic. You probably could have taken it right to Overseer Castavan right there. Would have been a hell of a trip for you to come back up here just to check in with me, but I appreciate you coming all the way to see me. Have you met the man? You saw his collection. You've met over.
We've had dinner with him.
We've dined with him.
Yes.
And tasted
Wonderful.
some of that ale.
So,
Memorable.
so you've got just bringing everything above board. How do you feel about the man?
Seems like a powerful man with a lot of powerful things just for the sake of feeling powerful.
It's interesting that you found him powerful.
I think he's playing games.
I think he feels powerful.
All right, I think I'm getting the sense here. As far as I'm concerned, and as far as the collection is concerned, he has already paid me. And if you all are fine with keeping a secret, he never needs to know. He
Right.
paid for the thing that was, supposed to be delivered, and he can take that up with the Silver Palm. But my part of the job is done, and you have now found a lost item that happened to come across my way, and, well, if that is something that you would want to part with, I will happily buy it from you and see that it goes to some better people.
Silver Palm thought that the cases were just the wine? Or did they even know?
That is, they were delivering goods that were worth a lot.
Right. And your barometer of needs, as you put it, what would a more fitting buyer look like, in your opinion?
I would say maybe some people who are in need of surviving out in the frontier, and maybe someone who can, they can't fix the shard, but maybe find a way of using it.
Harnessing it without vaporizing themselves.
Yeah.
You've been around technology for a little bit. Maybe they find a way to pump fresh water. Maybe they find a way to protect themselves from creatures from the ashen, or from the prowling fields.
Right.
Or maybe we do find a way to see if that ashen veil is still there.
Oh, I don't think we need to do that.
Who brought these pieces to you?
For their safety, I don't give out the names of my fetchers. As potential ones yourselves, I'm sure you would understand.
Honestly, I do. Now, the Fairbanks obviously did not make it to its destination unscathed. And we know it was carrying these cases. Who else knew what was in... Who else could have known what was in those cases? Their true nature.
Myself, Silas, a very select few business partners who are beyond question.
You might need to start thinking about questioning some of that. One business partner is dead. Dead before, before the
I
Fairbanks.
consider him an employee.
Friend, employee. Gets weird. Someone who knew targeted the Fairbanks.
Do you know? You're suspecting that it's because of the core shard that was on board?
We have
Like-
had a string of coincidences we've been following that are stacking up in ways that make them feel far too convenient to be coincidences.
And to be honest, we're tired of following false leads, so we'd like to be
Yes.
pointed in the right direction.
If the people who knew that was on board wanted to do something like that, well, I'll be perfectly honest, I'd probably not be here anymore. I'd probably be dead in a ditch. And if they knew that it was there, you recovered one of the cases?
Mm-hmm.
How many people knew that you recovered the case?
2.
So I guess my question would be how much resistance did you find searching for the cases, getting the case?
We found more resistance after the fact.
There wasn't much competition from other fetchers, if that's what you're getting at.
I think in a way it is, but if people were trying to get it, I think there were a lot of better ways that could have happened.
There's also a lot of, more normal ways to attack a ship than the way the Fairbanks went down.
Yeah.
We do have another theory as to what may have happened to tie the core shard to the events on the Melos Meet, but, well, even that's a bit odd. Do you know of the properties of core? Is there anything in it that could change a person?
Yeah.
That could make them less like themselves or even less alive? and
An
yet still-
abomination.
Yeah.
Well, that sort of stuff. I don't know too much. I feel like you'd probably know more than me on the history of all that.
No, nothing in my learnings.
It seemed purely organic,
Well, sure.
in a way.
As far as my understanding is that it harnesses magic, harnesses power.
But it doesn't taint those around it.
Not that I know of.
Not that I know of either.
But again, I'm just speculating at this point. I think if it tainted the people around it, I think. Well, I suppose, come to think of it, a horrible thing did happen a long time ago.
What do you mean?
Well, if core is what's powering a lot, but
You mean
But
the
what's
Ashen Mail itself?
yeah, but I suppose the people who were working on the trains, the people, we'd look very different now if that sort of thing changed and mutated people.
Right. Now, there are darker things that change and mutate people, maybe not physically, but mentally. How familiar are you with what happened here at the Flow Forge?
I'm learning more about it, but yeah, it was an attack on Venture. It was an attack on the city, and it seemed incredibly targeted.
Very much so.
We had a front row seats for the explosions.
Mm-hmm.
I did not, and I'm very grateful for that.
Yeah, it should be. And we also had a front row seat for the Perpetuator's escape, potentially.
Potentially, the Dark Beacon, they're who seem to have perpetuated this attack.
Sure.
Well,
Are you
supporters.
Are you familiar with the term?
Not quite sure.
They're seemingly a death cult. They believe that the Order is, I don't want to say to blame for just gesture, but clearly they're disgruntled with the way of things.
Well, it's a hell of a way of showing it.
They clearly didn't use core to bomb, since, with your knowledge, now we know emphatically what that is, what that looks like. What do you think they would do with the amount of core that was lost? What could they do?
There are some incredibly creative people out there.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that a creative mind, if pointed in the wrong direction and left unchecked, can do some pretty nasty stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I might want to amend my previous hypothetical. Maybe the people who would find best use of that, should it ever be found again, maybe they're vetted quite a bit more.
Yeah.
Probably wise.
I don't think we need another Silas on a bigger scale.
And
Was
to-
the piece that, what was it? I'm sorry, I don't really fully understand core yet. I'm learning. How big was the piece that was sent to Silas?
Oh, the sucker was about that size.
And how big is the other piece that got sent to
Castavan.
Overseer Castavan? I was like, Lord, nope.
At least twice the size. Probably about sitting that long.
It cleared the room?
Most of it.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah, first couple pieces that I ever came in contact with, all little bits, and those are the ones that under a safer environment and away from here, saw what could happen.
Sorry, I just had another silly thought pop in my head. I know you don't deal with organics. Was Castavan the only person that you worked with in Rivers Meat?
I think so. As far as shipping goes,
Okay.
again, most everything people come to me.
Had Dr. Sada ever approached you for anything?
That name does not ring a bell. Dr. Sada?
Inside check.
Yeah.
I want
I want to do an active insight check on this one.
All right.
Me too.
Oh, so nice.
I'm sitting in the street.
So
Ooh,
a
not great for me.
snowman is
You said
I
insight.
love it.
Mm-hmm.
19.
I'll use a side bolster knack to bring this up a bit, because I did not go great. Okay.
I'm using my heroic inspiration.
I got a 10.
Okay.
Oh, that's still
There you
That's
go.
a lot higher.
That's a lot higher.
That's a 15.
All right. And
19.
19. To each of you, he does not look like he's putting on a facade.
Mhm.
He genuinely does not know this name.
Okay.
Legit?
Yep.
Actually.
One way or the other, I'm like, I need to know.
Yep.
All right. If that name ever comes up, get word to us somehow, please.
I suppose then that brings up the continuation of this this conversation for me of reaching out to you and would any of y'all be interested in, if you find anything along these lines, bringing them to me?
As long as your, as you said, vetting process improves.
Actually, I suppose I should ask, are you active or ex? Because I suppose this might be a bit of a conflict of interest for you.
Are you asking if we're cops?
I suppose it is a bit of a conflict of interest
Yeah.
for both
No,
of
I'm
us.
not really asking if you're part of the
Just-
city guard or anything like that, but I know what you do. It's
Yeah.
easy to tell.
And, well, it was easy for me to tell what you do as well. So,
Mhm.
cards on the table. I think that there are many ways a partnership could be beneficial here. That
Okay.
does not have to end up with either of us losing our stations.
All right. I also want to be very clear. Though I know who you are, I don't want you to think me reckless.
Sure. No.
This conversation would not have been happening before yesterday.
Everything that you've done and said has shown me that you're not reckless. Careful. Not even to a fault, just careful.
Yeah, you got to be careful.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if that is something that you're interested in,
There's lots to consider. There's also, when we found the first case, there's a potential outpost, house. Don't know.
Oh,
But there was, after some reconnaissance from one of our friends, the silly little elf from yesterday, there was this, like, bottle that just kept smoking. It seemed like there was someone living there from far away, but is that anything that's interesting to you?
I mean, a bottle that is smoking.
I mean, or whatever else is nearby.
I mean, it sounds curious. It's something I'd take a look at.
I just say sorry to Aaron in my mind.
This is at no point. I don't consider this a contractual agreement.
No.
If that's something that you wanted, if you did this for me for a little bit, then maybe we could talk about something a little more concrete.
Sure.
But this is more of a freelance. If you find something, feel free to bring it to me, and I'll see about making sure you're paid for your paid an appropriate amount. But also, you do not have to give me an answer on this right now.
I mean, we're not going anywhere soon.
We
So,
would like to, though.
we would love to. I think all of us are getting a little cagey.
Are you aware of any ways in and out of the city that are under the radar? Do any of your fetchers communicate their stealthy avenues to you?
Well, right now it's a bit hard to do.
Mm.
I don't really have that much of a way of keeping in touch. That's actually what those spring talons were for. But yeah, getting in and out's a little dicey. I know a way for someone, but just it's sort of a one-person trip. Not a one-way trip, just one person.
As curious as I am about that, I have means of communicating at great distance. So we could get in touch with you later on down the line, if
That's
we
right.
were to find anything.
All right.
Is there anybody out there that you have that you need to check in with?
Nope. Once again, this is kind of
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
the harbor's always open, and I've got my list, but it's
Of course, of course. Well, if you were to need that kind of service, we have more efficient ways of getting communication out of the city than a spring talon.
all right.
But we also know people who can fix those up if you need them. I don't know. Are they in working order? They look kind of busted.
Yeah.
We're gonna do some looking into it. I might need some help, but again, they're old.
Well, if you know what I do, you know I have a partner.
You tend to, yeah.
She's quite handy.
I volunteer as tribute.
Well, if that's something that you'd be willing to offer, sorry, this has been an exhausting morning already.
Yes.
I'm
sorry.
glad for the tea. Thank you.
Same. I'm gonna make myself another batch here.
Yeah.
Did was there anything else you wanted to talk to me about? any other shocking news that I should maybe be apprised of?
Well, you did say already you're not in organics, so that takes off the other exotic item of discussion.
Yeah.
Oh, you lack
That's-
piquant interest, don't you?
Oh,
Best
yes.
after a second pot of tea.
I guess I just want to make sure things are all on the up and up. Neither the boxes explode the Fairbanks, just to confirm.
Not
No.
to our knowledge.
Okay, because this is, I just want to make sure that I don't have any loose ends I need to tie up, and also want to make sure that if people come and knock in, have the right things to say.
If my interpretation of the crime scene was correct, I can actually put your mind at ease that the ship did not explode. It more imploded upon impact with the docks.
Oh, all right.
If I could put your mind not at ease, I can tell you more about how it crashed.
You know,
but-
I think that's all I need to know. All right.
Yeah. If you enjoy sleeping, it's best to just leave it at that, Finn.
Yeah.
Well, in that case, I think I might kick off for the morning.
Yeah. Are there any folks in the town guard or anything that you have pretty good connections with? If we wanted to say secure passage out, we could put in a good word.
We also don't know who we can trust to
Yeah.
tell what we've seen of this recent travesty.
As far as our dealings are concerned, think of it this way, that you were freelancing for me, but I have a bit of a complicated business, and as you can understand, discretion is important. So, names of any other involvement tend to not come freely or at all. Again, if this is something that you'd like to be more of a part of, and down the line as a fetcher, you enjoy the work and you'd like to be doing maybe a little bit more, we can talk. But at this time, this is our relationship.
Of course.
Yeah. No, we'll keep getting our bearings, and you can also trust us to keep our mouths shut.
All right then.
Yeah.
Well, in that case, as he stands up, places his cup on the table. Y'all want to join me back downstairs? And he begins to step down.
Just kind of make eye contact with my associates and just like a eyebrow raise. Could have gone worse.
And as you come down to the main floor. Oh, before I forget, two things. One, the offer stands. Don't worry, I will not forget. Yeah, good discount on a single thing as, again, a thank you.
Right.
Was there anything you wanted right now, or do you want to think on?
Let us think on it. I mean, there's quite a number of things actually, and still couldn't afford it with the discount. So let us think and let us discuss on
And-
both matters.
Last time you were in, you were asking about something else that I might be able to keep an eye out for. Think of this as a bit of a perk of being a fetcher. Maps are kind of hard to come by out here,
Sure.
but if you're going to be going out and about, you might as well have a sense for where some things are. So as he reaches under the counter and pulls out,
Oh shit!
it!
We get shit.
that's for you, and I hope it helps. It's mostly the shipping lanes and what little we know.
Do you mind?
Please.
I know, it's like...
Hey!
Oh my lord.
I gotta hold it up. For
Yeah.
It's so
here.
pretty.
This is like
It's vellum.
canvas.
Yeah.
Oh no.
I'm verklempt.
There's some here there be monsters.
No, there's no monsters there.
Okay. Okay.
No.
Okay.
As Finn's pouring over the map, I will.
Look how little we've traveled.
I'll kind of lean closer to Lark and say, there is. The map is incredibly gracious. Orienting ourselves to our surroundings is
It's
very
a-
important for here on out. I was curious if at any time you've ever received anything from Orashine? Does that name ring a bell to you?
Or Sheen.
Does it ring a bell to me? Us?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I'm not familiar with that. Is
Not
that
gonna
a
pretend.
new frontier town popping up, or
It's a place I've heard once, and while I'm a bit seasoned in my years, it's not something I've heard colloquially used among the folk of Melos Machina or anywhere else. So, again, you being a man of central to many those traveling to and from, I was just curious if you'd heard of it, its whereabouts.
I'm not familiar with that? But if you ever want to update the map, we'll put it down.
Well, Finn's a very good scribe. He's been tracking our recent adventures,
I've
at
actually
least a little bit.
was hoping to pick up some better cartography tools if you know where in town. I don't suppose you'd carry those, but
No, I do not. But I think you should be able to find them in town pretty easily.
right. Well,
Uh,
if you don't mind, I'll update as we go. Thank
This
you.
is yours to do
By
with.
the way, this is incredible.
We get a couple made every so often. Just kind of as exploration goes out and places have been looked through, and it's not much, but
Yeah. I've never even seen that. I didn't realize how close we were to Melos Machina, quite frankly.
it's honestly these days it's only the shipping lanes that get it, and
Yeah.
well, like I said, we know people.
It's good to know people, I suppose. Well, thank you. And, thanks for your, candor as well,
And thank you for the news.
of course.
Yeah, I'll be pondering on that one for a bit.
Sorry to bring such poor news to you, but,
It is what it is. It's the first time I've really had to deal with not death, but it's a little more direct.
Loss.
Yeah. Again, he was an associate. I don't want to come across it. I think it was more how close I was involved to it that stings.
sure.
I mean,
I get that.
can't blame another person for their lack of survival. I don't want to say skills, but sometimes you don't want to poke the bear.
Yeah.
And, well, if we were to become ongoing associates, well, you can rest a little easier knowing that, though impulsive, our party is, much brighter and not lacking in survival skills.
I'm looking forward to seeing where this goes.
Me too, surprisingly.
Be well out there.
Thank you.
With that, he unlocks the door and opens it, offering it for you.
I'll just wave the map at Dwathi and just smile.
So you put a carrot on its face?
Yeah, it as a nose. I mean, it's a long nose, but
Like a
yeah.
sculpture? Wow, okay. I want to try and make one now.
Well, if we end up in my hometown around when it snows, I will happily show you how to build a snowman.
Oh, hello everybody.
Hey,
What's that?
well, this can tell us that we're actually pretty far from where you live.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
And, well, we were a lot closer to home than I thought.
your home.
My home.
Your home.
Our home. Well,
Your home.
former.
Your home.
Alright, now I can.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
It's a map.
Oh! That's so neat. Oh, that's cute. Okay.
And we
We were there.
are in here somewhere.
We're there. And we came from. Oh, wow. We came so far. Oh my gosh. We came from all the way up there. Wow. Goodness.
Yeah.
Fortunately, Orashine is not on that map, Dwathi.
or reach is on the map.
Yeah, quite the other direction.
Yeah.
Yes, that's Orich where you're from.
But maybe let's walk and head for a
Yeah.
morning at our new abode.
Is over that way? Is that where the third city is? Is it over here?
Somewhere.
Couldn't rightly tell you.
The other
I've never
one.
been.
The other one.
You're knocked out.
Yeah.
I mean, I would assume it's the only other main city I know of.
Yeah. Okay.
But if you want to visit Saros Manor, we can do that sooner than we think. But we
We are closer.
might have leads on going back the other way, though.
Oh.
If we haven't made any decisions.
Mm-hmm. No, we need to.
We confirmed a few things.
Yes.
Okay, should we not talk here, I'm assuming?
Probably
Yeah.
not.
To the safe house? Is that where they
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you see anything out here? Did the deacon stay down?
We were
No,
talking about something called the snowman.
A snowman. A man made out of snow?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
a
you-
monster.
No, I mean, not really.
No, it's for fun.
It's- you just roll up the snow into a big bowl and pile,
Fun.
like, big bowl, a little bit smaller bowl, a little bit smaller bowl, and then... Anyway, it's just you make a little man
Seems like a northern tradition.
out of
Wait,
the snow.
Sorry, southern.
we have enough.
Hey! Oh my!
Oh!
As you turn, you see Cindy
Oh,
rushing towards. I realized I am so glad that you guys are here. I realized that if it wasn't here, I wouldn't know where to find you.
Yeah,
Right.
sorry.
Right.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Things were weird.
we
No,
figured
that's
we could
fine.
have called you, but now I suppose that's a little bit rude. I'm glad you found us.
Yeah. Morning.
Yes. Good
Yeah.
morning. Hey,
So things to report.
walk with
should I
us.
talk-
You just-
Okay.
Yeah.
Walk with us and
Yeah.
talk with us.
Because I probably shouldn't report
Not
right.
too far.
I would say that I can only
Yeah.
halfway.
Yeah.
So as you begin walking,
I mumble in my brain.
as you pass over the reconstructed bridge, she looks back over her shoulder. Okay, so as far as people going in and out, there wasn't a lot. A couple of times some people went in. Some folks went in, very quickly left. Another couple went in that looked a little wealthier, spent a little more time, but then left, and that was about it.
Okay.
Still no luck on Dunley.
I was just going to ask.
Oh no.
Yeah, no, I've gone to the docks. I've gone to his home.
Oh
I
no.
hope
How-
it's okay.
I've looked inside. Like I looked in a window and it looks like there's still food, but
Do you want us to check in on him?
maybe.
How well do you know him? Like, are you
Well,
besties?
he's my friend. I know him just as well as I know Ryder.
Okay.
I mean, and when the city's under lockdown, it's couldn't be that hard to lose somebody.
That's what I'm worried about.
Do you know where he was?
I
The
don't.
night of the
I
attack.
don't. That's what I'm worried about.
I know not to sound callous, more to sound practical. Do we know how many people died in
haven't-
the attacks?
I mean, as much as I don't love getting super close to the guard right now, I'd love to get more information about what's been going on. But
There's
I also-
definitely a noticeable change.
Yeah.
The market is empty. There's less people down in the docks.
People getting worried. We were able to give you some extra employment, but what would you be doing if we didn't turn up with no water in the canals?
Oh, I'd be doing nothing. And people are worried. I don't know if you saw it all, but did you come from the city or did you come from
The docks, the graffiti.
Yeah. Well, I didn't see any graffiti. But the deacons were arresting people.
Just anybody?
I don't know. I walked past and
Keep your head down. Maybe stay. Don't communicate with us for a couple of days, maybe.
okay.
Deacons are here when things are serious.
Yeah.
And if you get taken, you get taken. There's not a whole lot of questions that get asked beforehand. So,
Oh. I mean, it looked like the guard were just, like, tying people up. Are they gonna...
that's for the order to decide.
What were they arresting people for?
I would
Probably
assume-
any excuse right now.
Yeah.
I heard yelling and arguments, like... Looked like some people were fighting, not physically fighting, but, like, fighting with the guards, and that's when that started. I steered clear,
Smart.
Good.
Yeah, we shouldn't take the risk of making you look suspicious in any way during all of this.
Okay, so no looking at how... Yeah.
We're good with Locke for now. That job's over. Your job's not over.
Oh,
But
okay. And she looks nervous now.
No. More like. Just don't look suspicious.
Well, I didn't think I was being suspicious. Wait,
You're
do
not,
I...
but-
No.
Am I being...
No,
We're-
no.
Are you being suspicious?
Kinda.
She
We have you
takes a
staking out.
She takes a noticeable step back.
You watched the collection for us yesterday.
I thought you were just trying to learn about...
We are, but that seems when. Sorry.
Let's not get
when-
ahead of ourselves, everyone.
the
Everything
deacons
is
make me
fine.
nervous. I'm sorry.
Continue on, cautiously, respectfully, and this will blow over in no time at all.
except for Dunley,
Yeah, where?
we should
does
look
he
into
live?
that.
Give me an insight check.
Oh, we scared her.
Great.
Maybe. Did we? Insight. That's a 19 again.
She is looking a little fearful.
Fearful.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'd like to cast Friends.
Okay.
Does it?
It's a
I
cantrip.
mean,
What's
as
the save?
It's a cantrip. The save is I never make the people save. 15. It's a wisdom.
It's a success.
Oh, shit.
Sorry.
She knows that you...
She doesn't know until it ends that she's been charmed.
But if she saves...
Oh, she saves.
Actually, that's a good question.
Spell
Does she
ends
know
early
she-
if target takes damage, you make attack roll, blah, blah, blah. When the spell ends, the target knows it was charmed by you. It doesn't say if it fails.
oh.
I mean,
Target must succeed
Okay.
on a wisdom saving throw or have the charm condition for the duration. It only says when the spell ends, the target knows it was charmed by you.
As you cast Friends, because that's a verbal... Verbal?
No, somatic and material.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. And I just used my book.
Okay.
How tall is she?
She's about, like,
Do
5...
I have calm emotions prepared?
7, 5'8".
I'm just gonna literally get down to her level. Eye level. I don't mean to spook you. I'm sorry. But also, while we are not suspicious, we are investigating things that are danger adjacent. If you're not comfortable with that, that's okay. You don't have to work for us. But also, I don't feel comfortable with you not understanding at least what you need to know about our arrangement here.
Give me a persuasion check.
So many checks today.
11.
Okay. You can see she relaxes a little bit, but is still very tense. Okay. I think I am happy to be your guide and show you around places. But if it's all right with you, I think that's gonna be my line.
That's
And
okay.
if that's gonna be less pay, that's fine.
Cindy, you didn't ask for any of this.
No, we totally understand.
You were somehow placed in our path for a reason, it seems. Not just to pretty up your boat.
Sure. Sorry,
And,
I think that
the pay was agreed upon for
Yeah.
you to be our guide, so the pay would not
You've
change.
gone above and beyond. We're here to help.
I think they got me spooked. What's going on down there, and I am
Yes.
worried that
The reason why we advised more caution on our behalf is, well, we're investigating similar things to the deacons. We just have a different methodology. We don't go around just arresting people
Yeah.
willy-nilly.
Yeah.
We
Okay.
do our homework, our research, we watch people.
So it's more just we don't even want to risk
Yeah.
you even seeming like you're doing anything suspicious. Not that we're actually making you do things that are suspicious.
Everything we're doing is above board.
okay.
It's just it's just scary right now.
Yeah, we just
Yeah.
want to be careful.
Right.
Is all.
Yeah.
Let's take a few days. Check back in 2 nights. If you still feel like you're comfortable in our employment. How about that?
Yeah.
Take a moment to yourself.
Is it gonna be suspicious? I'm still worried about Dunley.
So
Should I look in at his place, or is that gonna look like I'm
Why don't
skulking?
how do
or-
you feel about looking into it? Are you
nervous right now? I mean, if I'm just looking for my friend,
Yeah,
but
I
then
think that's reasonable.
that's
I think
completely
if
reasonable.
you want to keep looking for your friend and anyone asks why, you can say because
You're
he's
looking
missing.
For
I
your
know people
friend.
are.
yeah, you're right.
Knowing what little you know, do you still want her help with him? Or
Well, I mean, I was trying to get him to help you.
well, the
If-
tables have turned.
Yeah. Yeah, if you want to check in,
I mean, I don't think we have anywhere to go.
he lives down. He's in the dock district. He's
Oh.
he's by the lower Skytram.
Okay.
Well, you know, it's always good to get your exercise in, get your steps in. Stairs are good for the glutes.
We may have asked this already, but
Mhm.
when was the last time you saw him?
A while ago, I think at this point 5-6 days.
Okay. So it was well before the fire.
Honestly, it was yes, it
Yeah.
was. It was Ryder saying that he hadn't. Those two were like brothers.
Did he?
Oh no.
When
leave
Ryder
often?
hasn't seen him
No.
either.
He didn't decide to take a holiday to Gladen for some reason.
Well, no, and I think Ryder said he saw him just a couple days ago.
Okay.
Okay.
Like, he was working the docks with him
Is
up
Ryder-
until the.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm worried.
Has the city started putting out a list of casualties yet?
No.
I feel like it'll take a while for that. I mean,
And I have one more question. I don't mean this to come off as insensitive, but is there anything about Dunley that made it seem like he might not be content or might be a bit disgruntled with the way things are here?
No, I don't think so. I don't think he loved his work, but
Who does? Right.
yeah.
I do.
I mean, we would. Never said anything that. He never said anything that made me think that.
Of course.
Okay.
Sure.
Does Ryder live nearby, too?
Yeah, he's also down the docks. He's closer to. He's right by Dry Dock 1.
Alright, so maybe we can ask him, too, what he knows.
Yeah.
No, we, of course, want to help you. And you've been, oh my gosh, so helpful the last few days.
Truly.
So,
We could pay you,
Yeah.
for 2 days
Mm-hmm.
to, sort of take care of yourself, and if you find anything you want to tell us, and we could look into your friend for you.
Sure. I feel as though if I'm gonna lay low for a little bit, I'd feel bad. I did some work this morning, but it was looking for Dunley.
That's part of it, isn't it now? So,
Yeah.
if you keep listening for him and things, that's still...
Tell you what, I'll check in once a day,
Okay.
and we'll consider that you're on call and a little bit of trauma pay
Okay.
for scaring you earlier.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
I will
Um,
give
I'm
her
gonna
full
stay
gold
as you offer. No.
for the 2 days. Wasn't that how many we were giving her a day?
Yeah, that's right.
That this is how work is, right?
this is what we call benefits.
Okay. Okay.
Paid time off.
Thanks. I think I'm gonna stay in the upper city mostly today
Sure.
and
Good
tomorrow.
idea. Definitely.
Yeah.
Give us Dunley's and Ryder's addresses. We'll check in on them for you. You go rest. Actually, go rest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we'll be in touch. Thank you, Cindy.
All right. So
Sorry.
it's okay. As she gives you the addresses for both. She waves and walks. Takes a side street and walks away from y'all.
Guys, I messed that up. I am so sorry.
If
So
you want to
lightly
present
punch
the-
you in the arm.
an air of confidence in somebody who works for you, you need to give them direction and order,
Mhm.
nothing more.
Yeah, I just felt kind of guilty that she's been very close to a lot of dangerous situations, and I don't think she knew that.
It's probably better if she didn't know.
Maybe.
Just like Zachary. We didn't tell him
That's
everything.
different. Zachary is safe, secluded, he's protected. Cindy's been helping us.
I think no matter where you go in the city, you might be stumbling across something that might potentially ruffle some feathers, the way things
Yes.
are going. So no matter where we send her, there could be the opportunity of somebody causing a fight.
We could have
Yeah,
brought danger straight to Bogdan and Zachary's door last night.
Look, I think ultimately you were 100% correct.
The tact was...
I think that was.
Yeah. Do we want to quickly debrief
Yeah.
the safe house? Go find... Well... Guys,
I don't know. We're here, so
well, we're up. Yeah.
We're
in the upper
around
city.
at like
We're
the Flow
still
Forge
close.
area.
Yeah.
So,
I think I'll just huddle up. I understand Dunley's absence is curious, but I don't think it's the most pressing matter to pursue at this moment. Sure, he might have been present at the Flow Forge. Sure, he might have been on the bridge and fallen to his death.
he could have been...
There could be clues in his house if he's associated with them.
That's more
Yes.
interesting. So I think the specifics of what happened to him, we'll find that out. But
Sure.
if we are to investigate that angle more, that's what we should focus on.
Agreed.
When you were in the Flow Forge and the members who were
Deceased?
yeah murdered,
Mm-hmm.
did you any of you get a good look?
They were guards,
Mm.
mostly. Guards and the workers there. They didn't seem like dock workers.
The ones down in
Oh No, not. I mean, we didn't get.
The slain workers upstairs
Not those.
didn't get a good bit, but down below, no, they were
No.
floating either. Oh,
Did-
and heavily, the faces were also obscured by robes as well. So
Yeah.
And also, I
Mm.
investigated one or two. They looked different, you know, kind of like everything had been taken out of them.
So it's possible that even if Dunley was down there, we would not be able to identify him as such.
No.
So,
If we even knew what Dunley looked like.
precisely.
Right. Well,
I feel like it's worth looking at
Mhm.
his home, and then we can go back to the safe house and debrief.
Sure.
yeah, I
But
mean,
I feel like since we're here, we're
We'll just
closer.
tell
right
you that
now.
the last conversation we had went a lot smoother than the one with Cindy just now.
That's
Oh.
good.
Okay.
Yes, there are. Almost struck gold, if I were to say.
yeah, we have a mutual understanding. He was very forthright with information. Still protective. But we've got a lot of good information and connections and
Didn't even play all the cards.
no.
No. But he did pay us, so before we proceed, let's. Should we divvy out some
Wait,
money?
Let's
Money?
maybe not do
Okay.
Yeah,
150 gold pieces
Wait,
and 15
wait.
platinum in the
Okay,
middle of the
okay,
street.
okay,
Let's, yeah, we
Oh,
can,
come
we
on.
Can, we can wait on that.
Let's do it right on the part
Just
of
don't
the
jump out a
bridge.
window with it.
Right.
Just a random guy from the corner. Huh?
Did you say 350? No,
You wanna say
300
that
gold?
you have it? Since you have the map and
Sure,
everything?
Yeah.
Okay,
sure.
just so we know.
I'll
like,
throw it all in mine. I
Okay.
wrote it down on my notes so we didn't forget. But
Yeah,
I'll
yeah,
throw
okay.
it in here.
We could go. Are we going to take the Skytram then?
Yeah, might as well. Since we'll be right there.
We could talk on the Skytram because we'll be alone.
Oh
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
That would be a good opportunity to discuss. Sure.
Oh, I'm rich.
Okay.
Oh, that's a lot of gold.
Don't shout that.
I just saw the number cross 1,000. So.
Same guy in the back. How much?
Oh, I saw the eyes. I got just one platinum out at the dry docks. So I know better now.
Okay, to the Skytram then.
My word.
As you head north along the walkway of Upper Venture, looking out over the cliff's edge to the docks below, where you know that you will need to be going. As you head towards the Skytram, that is where we're going to end tonight's episode.
Oh, really short one.
Yeah, my name is so short.
I wanted to share that.
I wanted to talk about snowmen.
Okay.
I wanted to ask Dorothy more about where she's
Oh, I want to grill Duathi
Uh.
so bad. I'm in a zone of truth. You.
Hey!
Alrighty,
No.
everyone. Well, we are going to be heading to our Discord to talk about this. But before we do that, thank you all so very much for being here. We hope that you enjoyed this evening's show. If you did and you would like to support us, feel free to give us a like, give us a follow. Any of that helps. Those are great free ways that you can help us out. If you would like to support us monetarily, you can be a subscriber to us over on Twitch, a member over on YouTube, or you can head to our Patreon, patreon.com/adventurespack, where you can become a patron. We could not be doing this without you all. We appreciate you so very much. For those of you who are supporting us, we're going to head to our Discord for a post-show hangout where you get to be a fly on the wall and listen to us all talk about how much we want to ask Duathi drilling questions. Uh, otherwise, have
interesting.
a great rest of your week. We will see you soon. Goodbye, everyone.
Good night.